All right, we got it fixed, so we should be able to go this time. Able to keep it rolling. Let's get in here and talk about it. Cause this is what I'm thinking. Like this race hustling, always making everything about race. People only doing that to make things about money. Like what like I don't mean to call Conscious Lee out, but what solution has Conscious Lee gave y'all to have 1 million followers? What solution has Conscious Lee gave y'all? Not only gave y'all, but what solution is Conscious Lee working on? He ain't working on one solution, but he's always on here talking about something's anti-black. What's your solution, Conscious Lee? I'm calling you out. If you know who, if you follow Conscious Lee, tag him because I'm calling him out. What is your solution? All you do is get on TikTok and run your damn mouth talking about something that's anti-black. What is your damn solution? Willie D, what is your damn solution? You're the same rapper in 1990 said, F positivity because your positivity doesn't get me paid. But in 2023, when nobody wants to listen to your rap music no more, now you all of a sudden you want to be a black activist. In 2023, because nobody wants to listen to Willie D rap. Let's be real about it. Ain't no one trying to listen to Willie D rap. That's why he wasn't invited to the damn Grammys. There ain't no real Willie D fans out there over Scarface fans. There's more Scarface fans over Willie D's, and we can see that by the number of albums that Scarface sold. Ain't nobody trying to listen. Willie D, when you make your top 10 list, you don't put Willie D on that damn thing. I ain't seen Willie D on not one top 100 best rappers list ever. And they ain't taking nothing away from the man. And now you crying about why you wasn't invited to the damn Grammys. And then every time you take to your platform, you crying about some racism. Everything's racism. Let's talk about the shit you did to the black community. We can talk all day about what the white people did to the black community, but let's talk about the message that you promoted in the black community in your heyday. In your heyday, you can talk all the positivity you want to, but we got to talk about what you did in your heyday. And that's the problem I have with a lot of people who get out of prison. Y'all always want to talk that positivity shit 20 years later, 30 years later. Now you want to talk that positivity, but when you was out there in the streets doing negativity, you didn't give a damn. You didn't give a damn. When you was out there in the streets selling drugs, being a gangbanger, doing whatever the hell you was doing, you didn't care about the black community. Now that you got locked up for 20 to 15 years, 30 years, now you want to come out and be all positive. Now you want to be all positive. Oh, after you done did 20 years in the pen, now you want to be all positive. Come on now. Get out here and work. This is my thing. Yeah, it's called growth. But get out here and work. We don't need you on TikTok. You know why they on TikTok? They ain't on TikTok. They ain't on TikTok because they trying for growth. They on social media trying to make money. Because if you really about that life, get off social media and go do something in the community that you helped destroy. I shouldn't have to listen to your prison stories and to you, oh, this is what we know. You know what you need to know? When you was selling drugs, when you was gang banging, you wasn't on social media telling everybody you weren't talking about your plan to gang bang or sell drugs. You was just out there doing whatever you do. So you don't got to get on social media and tell us your plan for the black community. Just take your ass out there and reverse selling drugs and turn it into positivity. That's all you got to do. Who you trying to reach? Who you trying to reach? Reach the damn neighborhood you destroyed. I don't need to hear you talking to me and I don't live in that damn neighborhood. Go out there and work in the damn neighborhood that you destroyed. What the hell do I care about you? You in Los Angeles or Watts. I don't want to hear your shit and I'm in Kentucky. Go out there and help the people in Watts. That's the neighborhood you destroyed. Go out there and help that neighborhood. I don't need to see you on social media talking about we need to get the no. You need to get the brothers that you helped destroy the neighborhood with, and y'all need to walk in the neighborhood and atone for what you did. You on social media trying to make money. Don't lie to me. No, I'm not gonna. Don't. Oh, I'm supposed to kiss your ass. No, go help the neighborhood that you helped destroy. All of this race hustling, and that's what y'all don't understand. Most of these people are race hustlers. What has Willie D did for the community? What has Conscious Lee did for the community? Nothing. Get on here and talk. Talk. Get off your ass and go do something in the community. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how many books you read. Get off the ass and go do something for the community. All your talk ain't doing nothing for nobody. And then, like Chris Rock named his show, you got selective outrage. You got selective outrage. Yeah, like Chris Rock named his show, you got selective outrage. It's okay for Dave Chappelle to do it, but it's not okay for Chris Rock to do it. It's okay for us to watch all of these rappers run around like they're in the middle of a minstrel show, but it's not okay for Chris Rock. It's okay for us to watch all these YouTube comedians run around like they're in a minstrel show and you don't show nothing. Willie D, I ain't heard you say a damn thing about Jay Prince and Offset and Takeoff. Why, Willie D? Why ain't you said something about Jay Prince and you need to shut up until you say something about that. You don't say shit about what Jay Prince Jr. is doing. You don't say nothing about that, but you got all the smoke for everybody else. Why don't you got smoke for Jay Prince Jr.? You want to talk about John Morant? You want to talk about John Morant? Jay Prince Jr. is doing the same damn thing. That's a rich kid. That Jay Prince Jr. is rich, running around acting like a thug. His father gave him everything he needs. He's blowing everything. Why don't you talk about him before you talk about John Morant? It's selective outrage. We scared to tell people the truth. We only talk about people that we're not scared about. We don't want to tell people the truth in the black community, and that's the problem in the black community. We pick and choose who we want to tell the truth about. Take the Nipsey Hussle case. That shit happens every day in the hood. Every day in the hood, homie kill homie. But y'all don't give a damn. Y'all upset because it happened to Nipsey Hussle. That's hood politics. Nipsey Hussle's, the person who unalived Nipsey Hussle did what you're supposed to do in hood politics. That's what you're supposed to do. That's their rules. So why y'all mad at him? Why y'all mad at the person who killed Tupac? He had no choice but to kill Tupac. That's hood politics. That's what they do down there. That dude, much as you love Tupac, he had a hood to go back to. He couldn't go back to his hood knowing that Tupac stomped him out. So he had to do what he had to do. So why y'all mad at him? Why you mad at him? He did what he had to do to survive in his hood. What you mad at him for? You only mad because it's Tupac. But it happens every day in the hood. It happens every day in the damn hood and nobody says nothing. Nobody says nothing. No one bats an eye until Tupac gets killed, till Pop Smoke gets killed, till PNP Rock gets killed. It has to be someone famous, and then all of a sudden, no, hood politics, you can't. Man, it's hood politics. How you gonna tell me because you famous I can't exercise my hood politics? I've been exercising them all my damn life. So I'm supposed to give you a pass because you famous? You out of your damn mind. You out of your damn mind. I'm supposed to let you stomp me out? And I ain't supposed to do nothing because you Tupac? Hell no. Hell no. There's gonna be some get back. Hood politics. And anybody in LA will tell you that. As much as they love Nipsey, most of the people agree with what Nipsey Hussle Killer did because they would do the same thing. If Nipsey Hussle would have called one of them a snitch, they would have did the same thing to Nipsey Hussle. Why y'all upset? It's hood politics, man. If we ain't going to stop hood politics, let's stay out of hood politics. That's what I say. Let's stay out of it. I don't care who it is. If you get wrapped up in the hood politics, If I'm not going to stop hood politics, why should I care about, because you famous, I'm supposed to be upset? Hood politics, why you playing that game, man? Why you playing that game? Yeah, right. Charleston White's a minstrel show, but who's calling him out? Who's calling Charleston White out? Who's calling Charleston White out? Charleston White's the biggest minstrel show there is, and he'll tell you he is. He's just doing that for likes and views. Charleston White just wants likes and who's more anti-black than Charleston White? Come on now. But this is the thing. So, like Chris Rock said, it's selective outrage. Candace Owens, Kanye West say F George Floyd, everyone's upset. Charleston White says F George Floyd, he was a dope fiend. Y'all don't bat an eye. Tell me I'm lying. You don't bat an eye. Candace Owens, Kanye West say Charleston White, say George Floyd died of fentanyl. He was a dope fiend. Everybody's upset with Candace Owens and Charleston White. Candace Owens, Kanye West. Charleston White says the same damn thing. Y'all don't bat an eye. You don't care. But wait a minute. If it's a problem, it's a problem no matter who says it. It ain't so what you're basically saying is you don't have a problem with it being said, you have a problem with who's saying it. That's what you're saying. I don't have a problem with what's being said. I have a problem with who's saying it, because I don't like Candace Owens. She can't Charleston White can say the same thing Candace Owens is saying, but I have a problem with Candace Owens says it. So basically, you don't have a problem with what's being said. You have a problem with who's saying it. Charleston White says real shit. How Charleston White say real stuff and he's talking about all he ever does is antagonize people. He antagonizes people. How is he saying real shit? You antagonizing rappers to get famous. You say shit just to get famous on YouTube. You have lost all clout with trying to save children, because children are not trying to mess with you, because you constantly on the internet talking about you will call the cops. In hood politics, you a snitch. I listened to his interviews. In hood politics, you a snitch. So those kids are not trying to listen to you from the hood, because all they know is you a snitch. You will call the police on them. So they not messing with you. So now the little power that you had to go into juvenile halls, to go into schools and talk to children, you lost it for the little fame that you wanted. Kids are not listening to that man. He can't go into the hood. He can't go into the hood schools and talk to them kids, because you done played yourself as a jackass. You done played yourself as a jackass on the internet. So you had influence. You had influence over kids. But because you played yourself as a jackass, the kids don't want to listen to you no more. The kids don't want to listen to you no more. Only people who listen to Charleston White are older people. But the kids he's trying to reach don't want to listen to him no more. Don't want to listen to him no more, because you get on here and you antagonize people. You antagonize people instead of doing the work that you was doing. You done fucked it all up for some fame. He done fucked it all up for some fame. I'm not in my feelings. You antagonizing people. You telling people F your baby. And then you telling people F DMX, F Nipsey Hussle. And then you try to clarify with I'm talking about the character. You think Nipsey Hussle's daddy, his baby, can separate the name Nipsey Hussle from his real name? His baby ain't separating that name. You on here antagonizing people. Nobody you lost who you was looking for. He doesn't speak facts. What he does speak facts. See, that's y'all's problem. He mixes falsehood with truth, because that's the only way to reach y'all. Because if you straight truth, y'all don't want to listen to straight truth. But y'all want to listen to falsehood mixed with truth. Goddamn, the falsehood takes away from the truth. It doesn't matter if you speak truth. If you're speaking, mixing the falsehood with truth, you're taking away from the truth. You're taking away from the truth. So nobody listens to no one listens to the truth. They only listen to the falsehood. They only listen to the falsehood. They're not worried about the truth you speaking. They're listening they tuning in for the drama. They tuning in for the controversy. They don't give a shit what you talking about. They don't care about the truth you talking about. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear you get on here and talk about someone. They want to hear you go back and forth with Bootsy and T.I. They don't want to hear the truth of the matter of what you speaking. You diluted your message. You diluted your message. So now your message is no good. It don't matter if you speaking truth. It's diluted. Nobody cares no more. No one is even looking to... People are looking... You keep watching Charleston White because you want to see what's going to happen to him. You want to see someone punch Charleston White in the mouth. That's really what you're looking for. So you keep watching him because you really want to see someone punch him in the mouth. You really do. And when someone punches him in the mouth, when someone punches Charleston White in the mouth, it will be the largest viewed video. It's going to be the largest viewed video in history. And it's going to be shared 100 times. It's going to be shared over and over and over. Because that's how we are as people. We look for the falsehood over the truth. That's what we do. We like the dirt. We like the Jerry Springer show. We like the podcast where they cuss out women and talk crazy to women. We love the filth. But when it comes to truth, we don't like the truth. We don't like the truth. We don't want to be told the truth. We don't want to hear the truth. Because the truth hurts. The truth hurts. And nobody wants to be hurt. So we hide ourselves from the truth. We don't want to listen to no one speaking truth. We hide ourselves from the truth because the truth hurt. Because what did Jesus say? Jesus said, ye should know the truth and the truth should set you free. But we don't want to know the truth. We don't want to know the truth. That's why we lie. That's why people lie. Why you think men lie to women? Why can't you just come out straight out and say I'm cheating? No, because the truth hurts. Truth hurts. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Why do you think no one listened to Charleston White when he first came out? When Charleston White was just telling the straight truth, nobody listened to him. So when he started to turn into this character, he got more views. The same with Kevin Samuels. When Kevin Samuels came out, he started talking about men. He got no views. But when he started talking about women, he became famous. He became famous. People don't want the truth. That's why they mix the truth with lies. The people don't want the truth. As men and women lie. That's why people lie, because the truth hurts. No one wants to hurt you. Men can't handle the truth either. Don't lie and say men can handle the truth. Men cannot handle the truth. He can be a puppet. Right, humans don't like the truth. You know? And for black people, if we continue to live in falsehood, we're going to perish. If you continue to think that you're a victim of racism in 2023 and you're not a victim, see, if you continue with that victim mentality, you're going to perish. So you got to get off your ass and do something for yourself. You got to stop talking about what the white man is doing and the white man this, the white man that. And you got to get off your ass and do something for yourself, brothers and sisters. Ain't nobody holding you back in 2023. No one's holding you back in 2023. If you don't get off your ass and go get it, that's on you. That ain't on the white man. That's on you. How you gonna blame the white man? And you the one who sat around on your ass blaming the white man. How you gonna blame the white man? What you want the white man to do? Bring the bread? You want the white man to bake the bread, bring it to your house and give it to you, cut it up and let you eat it? Come on now. And the truth is, the white man is starving just like you. The white man is starving just like you. While you got people over here claiming white privilege and all this shit, what is white privilege when you see white people standing on the corner begging for food? What kind of privilege is that? What kind of privilege is that when white people are in homeless shelters too? What kind of white privilege is that? See, y'all need to get that out of your head, man. You need to get that out of your head. And you got to go get it. You got to go get it. Go get it. Go get it however you want to get it. But get it. Go get it. Ain't nobody holding you back. There's no one only person holding you back is you. It ain't going to be easy. I'm not telling black people it's going to be easy. And ain't nothing worth having easy. But you got to fight for it. Fight for it. Man, you got to fight for it. You got to put effort in it. Anything you want, you're going to have to put effort in it. The same way that y'all go out there and y'all be on them basketball courts from sun up to sundown. If you want to be an auto mechanic, you got to be working on cars from sun up to sundown. You got to be reading car books from sun up to sundown. Whatever you want, you got to put the effort in it to go get it. That's it. And that's the bottom line of it. That's the bottom line. You got to put the effort in it to go get it. Because if you don't put the effort in it to go get it, you can't blame nobody but yourself. If you sat at home and put a half-ass effort in, and I didn't get it because the what? No. Let's see, what did you do to try to get it? What did you do to try to get it? Well, on Sunday I was gonna go to the library, but I was stayed home, smoked a little weed, and I kicked it with the fellas. Okay, what you do on Monday? On Monday, man, I was hanging out with this young Philly. What you do on Tuesday? Oh, man, on Tuesday, man, something came up. I couldn't do it. What you do on Wednesday? Oh, what you do on Thursday? See, you got the same 24 hours as anybody else. What are you doing with your 24 hours while you're sitting there complaining about the white man? You got the same 24 hours as anyone else. Ask yourself, what are you doing with the 24 hours? What are you doing with the 24 hours? Are you getting high and drinking all day and then complaining about what the white man ain't doing for you? Are you doing the same 24 hours? I don't care if you're a felon. I don't care if you're a felon. You can go out and get a damn CDL and make money. CDLs they hiring for CDLs. They begging for people to come. They'll put you in school. They'll put you in school to get a CDL. What are you doing to go get it? What are you doing to go get it? You can't sit around and blame the white man. What are you doing to go get it? What are you doing to go get it? Are you hanging on the block? The police are always picking on us. Nigga, you on the block? You on the block? What are you doing to go get it? You could go. There's so many ways you can go get it. Man, you can't blame nobody nowadays. There's too many. Everybody's hiring now. Everybody's hiring. You can work for yourself. There's so many ways to make money. You can't blame nobody. Like I always say, man, we can't get on here talking about what happened yesterday. Used to bees don't make honey. So we can't get out here. You can invite yourself on. You can't get out here blank talking about what happened to Tulsa, Oklahoma 100 years ago. We can't do nothing about Tulsa, Oklahoma. We can't do nothing about Emmett Till. We can't do nothing about 1919, 1920. But we got to do something about right now. Go get it. Go get it. Tell me where Tulsa, Oklahoma is happening right now. Tell me where Emmett Till is. Yeah, you're right. Emmett Till is happening right now. But you know who is you? It ain't white people doing it. It's black people doing it to black people. Chicago, a 17-year-old boy in home invasion someone. Emmett Till happens all the time, right? Every time, all the time in our community. But we don't say nothing. We don't say nothing about it. What you want me to do about Central Park? What you want me to do about it? Ain't nothing I can do about Central Park. What y'all want me to do about Central Park? I can't do nothing about it. So you want me to... I can't do nothing about the past. I could do something about the present and the future. I can't do nothing about the... Y'all sitting there taking it? If something's happening in Detroit, New York, and Alabama, why ain't you organizing yourself to fight it? Why ain't you organizing yourself? It must not be that bad. A lot of blacks ain't organizing themselves. You make $1.8 trillion. $1.8 trillion. If you took your $1.8 trillion out of the economy, ain't nothing they can do to you. If you spent your $1.8 trillion among yourselves, ain't nothing they would do for you. They would change overnight. But they know whatever they do to you, you're going to give them that 1.8 trillion. You're going to go buy the new Nikes. You're going to go buy the new Gucci. You're going to buy the new car. You're going to get the new hair. You're going to get your nails done. You're going to get the new clothes. What you going to do? Whose fault is it that we spend that 1.8 trillion foolishly? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? What law has been put in place that says that we have to spend that 1.8 trillion foolishly? Tell me what law it is. If you could tell me that law that says that, hey, black people has to spend that $1.8 trillion foolishly, I'll blame the white man. Tell me what law says that. Tell me what law says that you have to spend your money foolishly. What law? What law says that? No law says that. It ain't about, see, that's y'all's problem. Y'all be on that stupid shit. I don't care if you call yourself Moors or call yourself Hebrew Israelites. You're going to be in the same position. It don't matter if you call yourself black, because you're still going to spend that $1.8 trillion foolishly. Y'all worried about stupid stuff. Y'all just worried about stupid stuff. Y'all worried about, you worried about when you come on here saying, don't call ourselves black because they won't recognize us. You right there saying that you worried about the validation of the white man more than you worried about the validation of yourself. It doesn't matter what we call ourselves. It matters what we do with the $1.8 trillion. You don't see the Chinese arguing over what to call themselves. They spend their money wisely. It matters what we do with the $1.8 trillion more than it matters what we call ourselves. If you want respect, take your $1.8 trillion and start building for yourself. That's it. That's it. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks of you. Take your $1.8 trillion and start doing for yourself. All of that, we ain't black, we ain't this, we ain't that. Okay, fine. You know what happens if you ain't got no money? You know what they call people with no money? Poor. Poor. They don't care if you're black. They don't care if you're Hispanic. They don't care if you're white. They don't care if you're Asian. They ain't care if you're Pacific Islander. They don't care what race you call yourself. If you ain't got no money, you call poor. That's your race, poor. And you ain't got no rights if you're poor. I'm just being real with you. Take it however you want it. You don't have no rights if you're poor. You got to take whatever comes to you if you're poor. If someone wants to crack your head, that's what happens to you. If ain't no camera around, Well, you just got your head cracked. You can go cry all you want to, but you ain't got no money to hire no lawyer. You ain't got no money. You just accept what comes to you if you're poor in America. The worst thing to be in America is not black, it ain't Hispanic, it ain't white, it ain't Asian, it ain't Pacific Islander, it ain't a woman, it ain't a transgender, it ain't being gay, it's being poor. It is a crime to be broke in America. Y'all can take it or leave it, but that's the real truth. It is a crime to be broke in America. If you broke in America, it's a crime. It's a crime if you broke in America. Ain't no difference between broke white people and broke black people. Y'all all in the same boat. There's no difference between a broke white man and a broke black man. The system treats you the same. System will throw you in jail, lock away the key, and never hear your case. Unless some bleeding heart liberal comes along and looks at your case. Ain't no difference between poor people. Poor people are poor people. Poor people in America, it ain't no difference between poor people. Poor people are treated the same. They don't treat poor white people better than they treat poor black people. I worked in a homeless shelter. I watched poor white people get turned away from the homeless shelter like they turned away poor black people. They wasn't like, oh, there's a white man, let him come in. If you wasn't there at the time the shelter door closed, they didn't care what color you was. I seen them shut the door on a woman with children. They didn't care. When they say the cutoff time to get into the shelter is 10 o'clock, and you're not there by 10 o'clock, and they shut that door, you not getting in. They don't care what race you are. They don't care what sex you are. They don't care what orientation you claim. Poor people are treated like shit in America. Poor people are treated like shit in America. And that's the truth of the matter. Y'all can say I ain't telling the truth. You can say I'm lying, but that's the truth. Rich black people are way better off than poor white people in America. Y'all can take it or leave it. Rich black people or middle class black people are better off than poor white people in America. That's not racism. That's true. That's the truth of it. Dude, you better go look at your statistics again. There's way more than 50,000 poor people in America. Hey, they don't care about the poor in America. I could take it or leave it. Now, I'm not talking about 50,000 because 50,000 you can live in some states and you can live good. I'm talking about people who don't got no money. I'm talking poor people. I'm talking, man, you making $17,000 a year. There's people out here only making 17,000 or less. 17,000 or less, man. People out here living off $10,000 a year. Man, y'all don't know how blessed y'all are. Some of y'all don't know how blessed you are. That's a stretch. Are you in Texas? Because I could take you to places and show you people who are only getting $600 in Social Security. How you think it feels you went to Vietnam and fought for this country and you come home, you gotta live in a homeless shelter? Or I know lots of American vets who are in homeless shelters. See, I ain't talking what I think I know. I'm talking what I seen. I'm talking what I seen. I seen whole tent cities in California. Some of y'all need to go to California. I seen whole tent cities in California. Tent cities where they done took over whole store parking lots. And it's just people with tents. And some of these people got jobs. Some of these people got jobs, but they can't afford the rent in California, so they have to live in an RV. See, being poor is the worst thing you can be in America. Look, in Texas, in Texas, if you up under the dry docks, under the freeway, you already poor. You already poor. But if the cops catch you under the freeway, that's a $500 ticket. That's a $500 ticket. You're homeless, you poor, you're living outside, you under the dry dock just to stay warm. And if the cops come by, they're going to give you a $500 ticket. And now you can't pay that $500 ticket. So now they come by, a warrant is issued for your arrest. Now you're going to jail for being poor. You're going to jail for being poor because you didn't have $500, because you didn't have a place to stay, and they gave you, and you're trying to keep warm. So now they didn't gave you a $500 ticket. Now you in jail. What's your crime? Being poor. What's your crime? Being poor. Yeah, it's out of control. What's your crime? Being poor. That's out. Now, why do you think they get the ticket? Because they poor. They ain't got nowhere to go. And people don't want them under the freeway. So the cops give them a ticket. Where the city think they gonna give them? Where they gonna get $500 from to pay the ticket? Being poor in America is a crime. Being poor in America is a crime. Not because they're white people, my man. It's not because they're black. They do it to white people too. White people. Maybe you need to come out here and see the homeless. I'm telling y'all, being poor in America is the biggest crime you can commit. Because when you ain't got no money for bail, so when you go see the judge, you got to sit in jail. You're going to do whatever you got to do. Right? They live off poor people. But the problem is, they got us thinking racism. Me to them. Me to them. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I live in Dallas County. So what I used to live across the street, there were some people who lived inside the bushes. They lived in there for a whole year until somebody came by and happened to report them. And a couple of days later, the police came out and made them leave and cleared away all their stuff. If they couldn't carry it, they wasn't getting it. They even doing it now. If you get caught panhandling here in Dallas County, if you get caught panhandling, you get a ticket, and the person who gave you the money gets a ticket.
Well, I didn't hear that. That's crazy. So you can't even be charitable no more.
You can't. You not if the police catch you giving them some money, they gonna give you a ticket, and they gonna give him a ticket for him or her for panhandling.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I know when I was in Fort Worth, when I was up visiting Fort Worth, I seen the cops coming down the street in like like they was going a drug bust, and they pulled
Yeah,
up on a bunch of homeless people, and they did the same thing. They was like, y'all got to move, and basically whatever you can, like you said, whatever you can take with you, take it with you, but y'all got to move on from here.
you got to move on. They did have a tent city here. It was closer to the downtown shelter, and so they used the excuse, and I'm not gonna say it wasn't true, that there were a lot of people that were being robbed, and there were a lot of people being raped. So what they did is they went in, they gave them, and they was nice to them. They gave them 2 or 3 days to be gone, and after that, if you came back and you was there, it didn't matter. You still had to leave. And they also take the census down there too. Cause you're right, down here, if the shelter class is at 8 and you ain't coming through that door at 8 with your 250, you ain't getting in there.
Wait a minute, they charge you $250 to stay in the shelter?
The Salvation Army charges you 250.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Salvation Army charges you 250 to sleep in.
So
And
where they
it's
expect them to
depending
get
on the
that
age of
money
your
from?
huh?
Where they expect them to get 250 from? You can't panhandle.
That's what I'm saying. The Salvation Army requires you to pay 250 to come in and spend the night. And depending on the age of your children and the sex of your, like if I had to go to a shelter and my son is 13, my son would have to, because he's over the age of 10, he'd have to go be with the adult men, and my daughter would have to go with me.
Oh hell no, that's crazy. Don't because I know when I was there was one shelter. It didn't care what it just took everybody in, as long as they was over
Yeah, they
18.
take
But
everybody in.
I mean,
They take everybody in.
they don't care about if you a sex offender or
They don't check that. You
so you
come,
could have a
you go
13
in
year old.
there.
So you can have
Yeah,
a 13-year-old sleeping with some sex offenders.
yeah, you take the chance. Yeah, you want to be separated from your kid, you take that chance. It's just a cot it's just a cot in a big room. There's a whole
Yeah,
bunch of cots in one big room.
right.
And
So that's why a lot of people want to sleep out. A lot of families sleep outside.
yeah, because you don't want to be separated from your children because you can't keep track of your children. And in the last year, and I want to say the year last year, and probably the beginning of this year, there were no availabilities at any shelters, not within the Dallas County area. You'd have to go someplace like North Richland Hills or Irving, Fort Worth, but there wasn't anything here in Dallas County
Why is Dallas getting like that?
because of the public transportation. Because
No, I
see,
mean, like, go
we
ahead.
have buses and trains now. So we have buses and trains now. So some of them get on the train and just ride the train all day, and some of them sleep on the train. And so the DART police here don't bother him. He's like, what's the sense of me waking him up and giving him a ticket when they probably done got 2 or 3 tickets today? It ain't like they gonna pick him up and take him to jail, and it ain't like they got the money to pay the ticket. So we don't even ticket them. So they just let them ride the train all day.
Yeah, that's how it is in in Oakland. The Bay and with the board train. The board train is like full of homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think the homeless is growing in Dallas because of the high prices to live there? I heard it's getting expensive to live in the Dallas area.
It just kind of like came out of nowhere. It caught a lot of people, off guard because, a lot of people were still recovering, like myself, from COVID. And, a lot of people here, a lot of small businesses closed. So a lot of people ended up out of work. And, like I said, I live in Texas. So I don't, how much can I say about how we was at it? He ain't giving us nothing down here. He ain't giving you Nothing. He ain't giving you a dop or a drain. He food stamps are back to what they were. Medicaid was back the way it was. The rent when I was living in a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. I started when I had an apartment 3 years ago. I was paying $875. When I moved out in October, she wanted to charge me $1,030 a month.
Oh,
Because I know here, especially the undocumented, they'll they'll take them in because they're able with their families to get jobs and stuff, paying daily. So they take them in quick. So you find multiple people living in an apartment. Well, if you take 5 or 6 people, take 5 or 6 guys who work construction and work construction, they can split a 2 bedroom apartment. So 1030 for some people was nothing, but like you said, a lot of people were still trying to reel back, who were barely hanging on before the pandemic, and then the pandemic helped a little. But once that was gone, and Greg Abbott was back to where what he was doing, it just made it really hard down here for people. So yeah, the numbers have increased as the amount of homeless, especially homeless families.
yeah. I
You find
heard
a lot of homeless
They
families.
was giving y'all the pandemic food stamps, and my cousin was saying because he stays in Texas, he was saying they cut back on the pandemic food stamps.
As of last month, they aren't giving any more pandemic food stamps down here.
Right. So
They're not even giving pandemic Medicaid anymore.
right. So they back to giving people $70, and the food prices have the inflation on
Yeah,
food is $70
yeah,
can't last a month. That's like $70 is really like what, 2 meals, maybe three
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah. Because I think I went in the store and I paid like $8, $9 for a dozen of eggs, and I was like, "What in the world? What did I miss?" And I missed something. Gas is $3. So yeah,
Right.
it's rough down here.
Yeah, so you got to imagine how rough it is for the elderly down there. I mean, all
Yeah,
over the elderly are suffering. The elderly are suffering the worst.
yeah. Like my mother is elderly, so supposedly they got a raise. And then it was, oh, they're gonna give a raise for Social Security. Yeah, they gave her a raise in Social Security, but then they turned around and went up on her insurance benefits with like Aetna or Amerigroup or Blue Cross Blue Shield. See, with those programs, yeah, they got an increase in the amount, but then they turned around and took it to cover their insurance. So they really didn't get a hike. And of course, the cost of
Right.
medicine goes up. So yeah, you have a lot of elderly people, who are having to make choice, who are going back to work. As a
Right.
matter of fact, because they can't make it.
Right. Right.
So
Um,
so being poor has nothing to do with color. Everybody's struggling. You got poor people of all races who
right.
are sitting up trying to figure it out together. And so that's the sad part that we are even having to do this. We
Right.
should have to
Right.
do this with this money when we know the United States has money. We know the government, conglomerate has the money to help its people. But then you have people like who run DeSantis, you know, Greg Abbott, those kind of governments, they turn down government aid
Right. Right.
because he gets most of his money through. Don't they get most of their money through donations?
Yeah, but I think
So
they
they can
turning down
afford.
government aid because they don't like what Biden is doing with the border. So they want to be free
Yeah,
to do what they want to do with the border. It's both. I say it's both. It's Democrats and Republican playing with people's
yes,
lives.
yes,
Like
and it
y'all,
is.
y'all playing with
It
people's
is.
lives. People out here struggling. Y'all get together and y'all can spend $3 billion or how many billions of dollars to Ukraine, but you got people in America living on the streets. You taking in Afghanistan refugees and you giving them housing when you got all of these Americans living on the streets that can't get housing.
Where y'all
Well,
getting this
down here in
housing
the
in?
south, but down here in the south, it seems like we get everybody. We get Russians, we get Ukrainians,
Right.
We get lots of Africans, we get a lot of what Cubans. We get like a lot of people here from other countries. But what we read, like I was reading the other day, how they're trying to put a hold to keep from selling off certain parts of Texas where the mineral rights are up for grabs and it's up to the railroad commission. So a lot of people don't even pay attention to how important that is because Greg Abbott has sold off thousands of land rights to the Saudi nation. That's public knowledge. That's public knowledge. But that's because I read. I don't be, people like scan the internet. I'll pick up the newspaper every now and then I'll research it on my own. But you have to research what's going on in your state. We aren't as far back as some states are, but it's not like Greg Abbott. It's not hard everywhere.
Well, I think Texas is better off than the. Well, I call Texas the Southwest, but Texas is better off than like Mississippi,
Mississippi,
Alabama,
yeah, they're having it rough for real.
Louisiana. It seems like those states are just like Democrats and Republicans. They're just backwards. It's like y'all haven't
Can't move, yeah, can't move forward. We just
right. Y'all haven't
can't.
moved into the
But you
20th
are lucky.
century.
But you are lucky. Like unlike Florida, where DeSantis just was trying to pass a bill that says that you can hit people in a demonstration crowd or something like that. And I was like, who would pass that? But that's what they're trying to pass in Florida.
But you
And
got
that if you,
you got both of them because you got California where Gavin Newsom is saying that your child can go to school and tell the teacher that it no longer wants to be the gender it was born against your wishes. So it's kind of like you got a bunch the politicians are out of touch with the people. So if you're
yeah,
with the Republicans or the Democrats, you're losing because these politicians are out of touch with the people. You got the Democrats; they rather fight for your right for pronoun to call yourself a pronoun than fight for your right for
right.
housing. Like we got bigger issues than if you want to call yourself them or they or Latina
Yeah,
X. There's bigger issues out here. If that's
yeah.
the only problem we
That's
got,
when you
then we
start to
doing
talk
pretty
about
well.
pedophile. That's when you start to have to worry about pedophilia and stuff like that. And it's so, well, whatever you want to call yourself is perfectly on you. I don't, it doesn't matter to me either way what you call yourself. I just think that when it comes down to everybody doing what they want to do, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But why do you have to force somebody to accept you? Either somebody's going to accept you or they're not. But by making laws, it's not going to make people accept you. For me, it's watching it pop up in children's cartoons more than I was used to.
Right.
I understand it's a different time.
It's the destruction of morals and values in America because I feel like no child should be learning about sex, heterosexual, homosexual sex. I don't care what type of
At
sex it
all.
is. You like leave the children alone because what are you teaching them about sex for?
Right. That's they. I think we've forgotten where the parents' jobs pick up and where the teachers' jobs, where that ends. I know that I had read an article about remember how you used to go to school and they would have those book fairs,
Right.
books, alternative lifestyles. They were offering those books at book fairs. And it made me have to question, well, wait a minute. What books are they offering my daughter who was in the fifth grade at these book fairs that they're hosting? Because I want to still have some say so over what she learns and what she doesn't learn. And by offering those kind of books and not reaching out to the parents. You know, if a child brings a BB gun to school, I'm gonna get 2 or 3 emails. Well, just like you're gonna email me about a little boy bringing, BB gun to school, I want to know about the types of books that you're gonna be offering at this book fair. It's like protect our children, but then there's so many attacks on your children. You don't know where to start. It's like you got to be up in arms every which way I go. Because our son is 13. So I have to talk to my son about how he behaves when he's outside the house because I want him to come home.
Right. But I mean, the thing is, like, some of these teachers are not qualified to even be teachers, let alone talk about reproduction. Because
Yes.
some of these you got a lot of these. You just had the 13-year-old, the 13-year-old, the lady who got pregnant by the 13-year-old, and they didn't put her in jail.
Yeah.
That was crazy. You got pregnant by a 13-year-old, but if it was reversed, if a man would have got a 13-year-old girl pregnant, the man would have went to jail. But here you got a situation where this grown-ass woman gets pregnant by a 13-year-older, and y'all don't put her in jail. So what are y'all saying?
Yeah, that's right. Because that I can't even fathom what a 30-year-old woman would have. What kind of conversation could she have ever? Just mind boggles. What kind of conversation could you, as an adult, have with a 13-year-old sexual? That would make no sense.
No, that's molestation. That's molestation. I mean, I don't care how we look at it. Most men look at it like, oh yeah, you a player, you gotta. No, that's molestation. So it's like let's keep it even. If you wouldn't let a grown man get a 13-year-old girl pregnant without putting him in jail, you wouldn't if a grown man got a 13-year-old girl pregnant and she didn't go to jail, then he would go to jail. So that grown ass woman needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
Especially since you're a teacher too.
Yeah. That she still took advantage of a child.
Right. But you can't tell me that you that dumb to fall for a 13-year-old's game. A grown ass woman falling for a 13-year-old game. Now if he was 18 or something, I could see that. But you 30-some years old and you let a 13-year-older, so you had to do the seducing, so you should be in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, because she took advantage of that child. And by her being his teacher, she spent every day with him. She seen him every day. So she what it was, she stalked him. Like pray, and then she figured out what he liked. Most kids that age like video games, Fortnite and Roblox at that age, they're not really even thinking about getting into girls. So she chased him.
But even more than that, they should start sending a message to these teachers, because the same with the police. You should, because you're supposed to protect the child. So if you violate that code, you should be punished to the fullest of the law, because you're not like a regular citizen as a teacher. You're supposed to be someone that you're in a different position.
Authority.
Right.
Yeah, you have a high authority. You're supposed to be there to educate. You're supposed to be there to teach. You're getting paid to be there to teach. If you doing all of that, that means you're not teaching. You chasing kids.
Right. And that's where it comes down to, like, too many of these teachers go in here trying to be these kids' friends, and they get themselves caught up like that. You're not being an authority figure. You want to make TikTok videos with these kids and talk their language.
Except for the ones who computer they going through and they signing child pornography and they educators. That's just as bad. Because that means you watching this at home. So that means when you at school, do you look at the little kids like that?
Right. And you got to check, sometimes you got to check the grade levels because you see a lot of, there'd be signs. Because when I worked in a special school, and one of the guys got charged with molestation, but there were signs. He always had little boys sitting in his lap. He always was rubbing little boys' faces. Like you seen the
Yeah,
signs, but everyone thought, oh, he's just being nurturing. It's like, no, that's creepy. Why a little boy sitting in
yeah,
that man's lap? That's creepy.
yeah. My kids say that's sussy, yeah. And I think that's what I was on a couple of lives earlier today, just in the box spectating, and I think that all too often we don't. A lot of people don't pay attention to how many kids are disappearing every second. Every second there's a child that comes up missing, so you start to pay more attention to your surroundings, which is why it's hard. It makes it more difficult to be able to deal with the LGBTQ
Right. Because especially
group.
with that, you can go in the bathroom of your choice. A lot of these
Yeah,
guys, I'm not saying this about the transgender community, but there's a lot of guys who are taking advantage of those laws to go in there and
yeah,
molest children.
yeah.
A lot of women, a lot of people they just want to molest children. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like we got to look out for the children, what's good for the children, and not what's good for our society. Because
true.
nowadays, you don't want to send your kid, whether it's if I had my daughter with me when she was young, I would take her to the men's bathroom because I'm not letting her go into the woman's
Women
bathroom by
bathroom
herself.
myself, because women are just as bad.
Right. And there'll be men, and sometimes every time you hear about those predatory stories, it be someone watching the bathroom looking for a child to
Mhm.
go in there by themselves.
Yeah, and they do. And be waiting for the child to come out the bathroom and snatch
Right.
him right on up, hoping that nobody will pay attention that that child didn't come with them.
And they getting so bold. There was a story that a child was in Walmart with the mama. The mama turned her head, and the predator ran up and touched on the little girl in Walmart. It's like they getting
Wow.
bold with it. This stuff is getting like these predators are getting bold. They don't care no more. They'll do it in broad daylight.
Wow. That's just crazy. This world is just it's all over the place, and they're not paying attention to that there's always an agenda somewhere. There's always an agenda. We just never most of the time people just are asleep to it, but I think more people are starting to pay attention to you have to pay attention to your surroundings these days.
Right.
Best, especially for sex trafficking. I'm always afraid when I go in Walmart to take my daughter with me because if she's out of my sight for a second, I'm like, "Where you at? Where you at? What's your name?" Because you never know. Again, they can grab take them on out the store, and I hate to say this, but yes, little melanin kids, are cost effective for them, and you know, we don't hear about those missing children, those little missing little girls and boys, that are black because it's not a story, but it's somebody's child somewhere. And it's not like no one it's not like someone's walking around here saying intentionally, I don't like you for the choices that you make. It's not that I dislike you. I just dislike the fact that you want to force your choices onto somebody else.
Right. I think we have entered where people people are infringing upon other people's rights to be safe. It's
Yes.
already bad enough with it the way it is now, but adding a different variable into it, or you can go into the bathroom of your choice. And we all see that ain't no women trying to go into the men's bathroom unless they have to. You don't see women
No.
voluntarily going into the men's bathroom. You don't see
Well, when I
men.
When I used to work for the city of Dallas, out of Dallas Love Field, they have the women's bathroom and they have the men's bathroom. Then they have what they call the family bathroom. I noticed that the lesbians mostly went into the family bathroom, where the transsexuals would prefer to come into the women's bathroom. So
Exactly.
even the women didn't go in the women's bathroom. They went into the family bathroom.
Right. But you don't see nobody, even though you a hardcore stud, you don't see
You ain't
her
going in there.
wanting to go into the men's bathroom.
Oh, no, she'll go find the family bathroom first.
Right. That's like prison. You
Yeah.
don't hear hardcore studs talking about lock me up with the men, even though they want to imitate a man. They don't want to go to a man's prison, but you have
No.
all of these men who want to go to women's prison.
Oh. Well, you remember there was one time where there was a guy who wanted his state that he had went to prison. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's upstate somewhere. Where he wanted the prison, he wanted the government to pay him. He wanted to pay for his surgery, and then he wanted to be transferred to a women's prison. Well, what ended up happening, they ended up transferring him to women's prison before he had his surgery, and while he was there, he got two women pregnant.
Right. That was New Jersey. That was New Jersey.
Okay.
Right. I remember that he got those two women pregnant, but then they had
Yep.
they have a lot of cases where these men, like in Sweden, the man committed his crime as a man, but then while he was waiting for his sentence, decided he wanted to be a woman, and he told them to put him in a women's prison. But they was like, wait a minute, he's in here for molesting women. He touched women, forcefully touched women.
So
So
why would
why
you
would
put
you
him in
put
a?
him in a women's
Yeah,
prison?
that's crazy.
But a lot of men
That's
are that's
crazy.
their way out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's nothing against the transgender community, but you have a lot of
No,
people.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah, you have a lot of people who are playing with it. They're really playing with it. Like
Yeah,
a lot of those boys, a
a
lot of
few.
those boys can't cut it when they play in men's sports. So now they decide, oh, I'll just go play with women.
Which I think is unfair. Again, I have
Yeah,
nothing
it's
against
unfair.
it, but I think that that's unfair. Yeah.
Right.
Male
You know,
athletes will always have have more body mass, more strength. I mean, just as a woman having to accept the fact that no real woman is ever going to be able to be equal to a man. So allowing a man into a woman's sport, they as women will never be able to compete equally because
right,
of what as a man you come with naturally.
right. That's
And
the
that's what
best.
I would think that would be with hormones or whatever replacement therapy. You're still within your chemistry makeup. You're still a man,
Right. But they're not gonna
or you're
realize that
still
until
carrying male traits.
a man turns into a woman and just dominates. Then it's gonna be a problem. Because right now, like the worst player in the NBA will be the best player in the WNBA. It's nothing around it. The worst player in the NBA would just go dominate the WNBA. But
You remember there was a movie like that called? Remember that movie they had made called Joanna Man, where he
yeah,
couldn't
but
make it into men's basketball, so he never went to the women's basketball league.
yeah, that movie was
They
it was
made a
like
movie about it.
prophecy because we didn't believe it when we seen it. But like,
Yeah.
this is the crazy thing. They tell us what they're going to do in their movies, but we don't get it when the
Yes.
movie come out. But 10 years later, we'll be like, damn, they
Then we get
told us
looking
they
like,
were going to do that.
yep,
That's the like
and they did it.
9/11. 9/11 was in a movie, Morgan Freeman was in the movie, and they blew up the World Trade Centers. And they said, "Who we gonna blame this on?" They said, "Blame it on the Muslims." So, like a couple of years later, the World Trade Center gets blown up, and you can call it conspiracy theory if you want to, but they told you what was going to happen in the movie. Star Trek
But
told
no,
you
that's
that you was
not.
going to have cell phones.
No, that's not conspiracy theory. That's true.
Right.
Now
All you got
that's
to do is
true.
watch their movies, and they tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah,
But we don't
that's
watch.
true.
We just watch the movies with entertainment. Sometimes you got to like if you look at Star Trek, I don't know how old you are, but when Star Trek came out, when you look at the old Star Trek, you see them flipping the phones. And what did you have like 30 years later?
Yeah,
A flip phone.
the flip phone.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I
It was,
remember the movies.
it was nice
I
talking
remember
to
the
you. I got to get
movies of
out of
Star
here.
Trek. Thank
It was
you, sir, for allowing me up.
Oh, no problem.
I
Anytime.
always enjoy it.
All right. Take care now.
Same to you.